Hey guys, really quickly before this video starts, I just want to mention this video took a bit more work than like my normal Let's Play stuff to throw together, so if you enjoy it and you want to support my channel, my streams, in an unconventional way, down in the description there's going to be a link where I've just launched my Yeet clothing merch line. It's nothing too special, just threw together a nice cute little graphic and I really enjoy it. So go check out the Eat Heart line and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hello everyone, my name is Verve and welcome to a brand new video. Okay, so listen, right? I watch anime, okay? Like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people nowadays that watch anime and it's definitely becoming more and more of a socially acceptable thing over here in the West, right? Like, I still remember the days when you couldn't talk about liking an anime or a show in elementary school without getting called a nerd or being made fun of for it. That's primary school, by the way, for those of you in the other parts of the world. But now that anime is more accepted and embraced by Western culture, I can actually talk about it to people and even make this video on an anime I've grown to like recently. No, I'm not becoming an anime tuber. I just wanted to bring this anime to the attention of all of you in case you haven't heard of it, or you've heard of it and you're deciding whether or not to watch it. So this anime, right? It's called Tate no Yusha no Nariagari. I think I said that right. I don't know. That's Rising of the Shield Hero in English. The reason why I said both here is because I typically use the titles Tate no Yusha and Shield Hero pretty interchangeably personally, because they both mean the same thing, it's just one's in Japanese. So this anime, on God, feels like SAO, but like a million times better than SEO. SAO. So before I get into talking about the plot and possibly ruining things for potential future watchers, I'll say this. Tate no Yusha is an amazing anime that I'd recommend to everyone. Like, deadass, this is a show I'd recommend to, like, my mother, and my mother doesn't even watch anime, and the last show that I'd recommended that I'd watch with her was Bleach. And hell, Bleach is literally my favorite anime. Which, just a little sidebar here, by the way, if you haven't watched Bleach, I highly recommend that anime as well. If you're a more experienced anime watcher and you haven't watched Bleach yet, it's kind of a basic shonen, but it's getting its anime continuation finally soon. So now's a perfect time to pick it up before the 1,000-year Blood War arc actually drops in the anime version. But anyways, we're here to talk about Tate no Yusha. Shield Hero's writing is phenomenal. Aneka Usagi has proven through this anime, as well as the light novel source material, that this motherfucker knows how to write plot. No, I'm not talking about the meme plot, like huge Bonhan Garahoogers. I'm talking like actual plot. Like, the shit that makes you feel and understand that people in the universe of Tate no Yusha have a perspective and opinions that can change and adapt over various experiences. And this show is really good at fucking remembering. Like, you know how you could be watching a show, and the main character gets all bitched up in a fight, right? And you're like, well, now their clothes are torn to tatters and singed like dad's toast. How's he gonna get out of this one? And then the next episode, motherfucker's clothes are perfectly fine and there's no explanation. This show doesn't do that. And if it has, it was in a situation so unimportant that I don't remember it. Not to mention that when important events happen, they actually have an impact on the world or the plot or an important character. Tate no Yusha also handles filler very well, as in, well, I feel like Video Game Donkey describes it best when he says, "Oh yeah, there is none." So with that being said, I highly recommend this anime, and I hope that I've convinced you to watch it. Alright, we cool? Alright, awesome. Because here's the official spoiler warning. Because now I'm actually going to talk about things that happen in the show, so if you still want to watch it without having any of the plot spoiled, go below this video and hit the save button and put it in your watch later for when you're done watching the first 25 episodes, which is the first season, and then come back when you're done. Also, while you're down there, you should probably also consider subscribing so you don't miss an upload of mine if you like some of the other content of mine. And make sure to hit the like button if you want to see more anime-related content on my channel if you're a returning viewer. And if you're a new viewer, just give it a like for giving you a fire anime recommendation if you somehow never heard of the show before. Now into the nitty-gritty. I'm probably going to compare the show to SAO quite a lot, but it's because of these reasons. Number one, they're both isekais. Number two, they both are about becoming an adventurer to complete some massive overall tasks that the main character can return to their original worlds. And three, they both have a heavy presence on video games. SAO's plot being trapped in an actual video game, and Tate no Yusha's plot being that the world itself works like a video game. So I think that Tate no Yusha is SAO, but way fucking better. The reason I put it like that is because at the current point in time of writing this script, the only thing I think SAO did better than Tate no Yusha is its pre-isekai event world building. Isekai event being what transports them into that world. So in SAO it was Kirito putting on the headset and going into Sword Art Online. And for Tate no Yusha, it is Naofumi getting sucked into the book to the other world. In SAO, we get a lot more light shed on the world outside of the game of SAO, and we know who Kirito is IRL, as well as his family, and what it's like out there, so on and so forth. In Tate no Yusha, we don't really get all that much of an explanation. Naofumi is an otaku who just gets sucked into a book, to a new world. That's it. We don't know who his parents are, if he has parents. We don't know what his siblings are like, if he has siblings, nothing. I guess in hindsight, all that stuff isn't too important to an isekai, but it's just nice to get a little bit of setup before the shit kind of kicks off, you know? But other than that, SAO doesn't even come close to Shield Hero. Typically in an anime, they try to make you feel emotions for the characters, whether that be the main character for an action or an event, or a supporting character, etc. In typically every anime ever, if a character goes through some rough shit, I'm just kind of like, man, that sucks, but you go get them. Like, half-heartedly, like a disappointed father at their daughter's softball game. This is the first anime in a while, and I mean a while, that actually pissed me off. And this isn't me trying to say, like, haha, I Uno reverse carded you, this anime is dog water, and it's all goof and gaff. No, I mean, like, at the beginning of the anime, a character named Mine, who you later find out is the future queen's sister, so she's a princess, steals all of Naofumi's money and claims he tried to rape her. Like, bruh. Not only does it work, because she's a princess and everyone's inclined to believe her, but but this fucking event destroys Naofumi mentally. Like, it absolutely ruins any belief in working with any royalty ever again. Like, it completely abolishes his trust in royalty. Like, the repercussions of this event are felt all the way up through, like, episode 20 to 24 in a 25-episode season. It's insane how much this made me feel seemingly as pissed off as the main character was. Like I said, typically shows make me feel sorry for the character, not actually have my feelings align with the main character. The last time I think my feelings perfectly aligned with the main character this well was when Rukia initially left for the Soul Society at the end of the Substitute Soul Reaper arc in Bleach. Or when he rescues her and how self-righteous Ichigo felt, and I also felt self-righteous for watching this fucking show. Or, like how fucking badass I felt watching Ichigo feel badass activating his fucking Bankai on Byakuya like you're gonna get your ass kicked. The beginning of this anime's plot is written so well, it made me feel, bro. Like, I know the most of you that might not mean shit, but to me, it's been so long. Like, when Kirito and Asuna defeated that blue demon or whatever the fuck early on in SAO, I was like, cool, they beat it. In Konosuba, when Tatsumi gets screwed out of some money on a job or something, I feel a little bit bad, but I'm mainly like, man, dude, that sucks for them. But I genuinely got pissed off when Naofumi got screwed when the princess faked getting screwed herself. So Naofumi gets so screwed that he has to resort to buying a slave to get a party member to fight with him. And as someone who's supposed to be a quote-unquote legendary hero, like the other three, like the bow, spear, and sword heroes, and then gets accused and thrown into a guilty until proven innocent scenario about raping a princess, he has no other choice but to buy a slave as a party member, because nobody else wants to be his party member. So he ends up purchasing a slave named Raftalia. Raftalia is a great fucking character. I already knew that she'd become like the wifey harem character or whatever later on, and that's eventually what she does become, but she's no early Naruto Sakura. She genuinely had a backstory that I actually gave a fuck about. So a little bit more on Raftalia. She is a demi-human, meaning she's a type of girl that Elon Musk will probably create in the next 50 years. So she's mainly human, but she also has some part, like, I don't know, what the fuck is she, like, rabbit, dog? I think she's like part dog. Yeah, I think dog is the correct animal. She lived peacefully in a demi-human village until it was ransacked and destroyed by something called a wave when she was little, and her parents died and she was forced into slavery. Well, at this point, I just want to explain two little things. One little thing and one big thing. The little thing is, number one, slavery is legal in this world and universe, and they even have special magic slave crests on their chests that force them to do what their master commands, or it zaps them with a painful magic until they comply to what their master asks. Even though slavery is legal, it is frowned upon still, and it is still, like, really cowardly. So just keep that in mind. And number two, which is the big thing, there's these things called the waves, where the four heroes of the sword hero, the spear hero, the bow hero, and the shield hero are summoned from the other worlds to this one to fight and defeat the waves to save this world so that they could be transported back to their original world they were summoned from. And the wave, spawns like a boss, and they have to defeat the boss to, make the wave go away, basically, right? So during one of these waves, Raftalia's village gets absolutely fucking demolished. Her parents get eaten alive by this weird three-headed dog, and she gets sold into slavery. So learning Raftalia's backstory during these excellent 25 episodes was genuinely an absolute treat. In contrast, when I was watching SAO, I was interested in Asuna's backstory for all of, 6 episodes. Like, Asuna was really interesting when she was, she had the hood, and it was, at the beginning, and she was like, oh, I'm really mysterious and shit. But as soon as you found out who she was and, what guild she was part of, and, you actually, got to know her really well, her backstory wasn't even interesting. By the end of Tate no Yusha's first season, we know all about Raftalia's story. And I'm still interested in her as a female main support character. I did not give a shit about Asuna after I learned her backstory. I didn't give a shit about Asuna once she stopped being fucking, I don't know what the correct word is, mysterious? Whatever. The point is, I feel like Tate no Yusha did a supporting female character infinitely better than SAO did. And I also want to point out here, I don't have this in the script. During this video, I'm not shitting on SAO because I hate it. I'm not shitting on SAO because I think it's a bad anime. I like SAO. I liked SAO. It's just, I would say, and I know people are going to get triggered at this, but I would say that SAO is a mediocre anime. It's not the best. And when I say mediocre, I mean that with the biggest ups I can give it. Because when I say mediocre, I mean it's a middle tier anime. It doesn't do anything overly special and cool, aside from if you die in the game, you die in real life. But other than that, I mean, another anime that I haven't even brought up yet I have brought up once, that's very similar to this is fucking Konosuba. Konosuba is similar to Tate no Yusha and fucking SAO. And I like Tate no Yusha better than I like Konosuba. And I like Konosuba infinitely better than I like SAO. So I just want to point out here that SAO is not... I'm not shitting on SAO because I genuinely hate the anime or I genuinely think it's a super, super bad anime. It's a solid anime. It's just, it wasn't my cup of tea and it didn't really hold my attention. I had heard recently that it continued and I didn't care. And by recently continued, I mean apparently there's another fucking story arc or something that happened after the Mother's Rosary, whatever the fuck. I don't know, dude. I'm not an SAO expert. I didn't rewatch it to brush up on my facts before writing the script. I'm just here to talk about Tate no Yusha mainly, and shitting on SAO is just because it's similarly, and I don't know. But anyway, I digress. This relationship between Naofumi and Raftalia gets so intense later on. The spear hero learns that Naofumi, the shield hero, has a slave, which again is frowned upon, but it's technically legal. So they duel each other for Raftalia's freedom. And the spear hero actually wins the duel, mainly because Namine, the princess that, claimed no touchies, interfered. But Raftalia's slave crest ends up getting removed because the spear hero won the duel, and the terms of the duel was that if the spear hero won, the slave would be freed. But Naofumi treated her so well because, again, the way that the world works and the perspectives and the character's influence on the world, No one knows how Naofumi was treating Raphtalia when they were alone, so everyone just thought that he was some, like, pedophilic pervert on her. He treated Raphtalia so well, and she believes in him so much that she willingly gets the slave crest reinstated on her chest after it was removed from losing the duel. She willingly goes and gets another slave crest because she believes in him and he treated her so well. It's... bro, the writing in the show is just so fucking good. So another thing that I wanted to highlight in this anime is how well progression is represented. Like, you know how earlier in the video I talked about how the world works like a video game? Well, now Fumi actually has, like, skill trees, and they're shown quite frequently in the show. Like, honestly, I mean, you don't follow every single little individual upgrade he gets, but it is implied heavily and shown in most circumstances that he gets new abilities and learns new things with this visual representation of the skill tree that you see a lot. Unlike in SEO, where we see a HUD maybe like a few times here and there, and a lot of the character's abilities just kind of, you know, poof in. You know, it's not like an SAO, like maybe this happens later on in SAO in a part that I haven't watched, but all the way up through Elfheim with the Mother's Rosary thing, I've watched. And not once, except maybe a few times in Gun Gale, did I actually see Kirito go into a skill tree and upgrade something. I've seen the HUD, like at the beginning of SAO, when they find out there's no logout button, this, that, the other thing, da-da-da-da-da, but like, you just kind of see it. And most of the time when you see it, it's like from a reverse angle when somebody's just fucking around in their inventory and then they close it. Like, it's just so casual. You don't see, like, I don't ever remember seeing a skill tree in SAO, and if you do, you see it, like, once or twice, and, like, he might purchase something, but it's not a recurring thing. Every time Naofumi learns something, he actually brings up the skill tree, and you see it being learned. You know, like, if it's relatively important to the combat story of the main story, you will see him learn it in a fucking skill tree, and that's really good. It helps the audience really find this line of progression through the main character's abilities, whereas, you know, like Kirito's ultimate skill must be, you know, so unique and cool because he's such an edgy character, and he can just hold another sword in his opposite hand. Cool. Motherfucker, now Fumi has a shield that shoots fucking fire and curses people. Like, in SAO, Kirito gets so OP seemingly so fast and just ends up being able to suddenly use two swords. Oh, there's these bandits mugging somebody? Let me just tank all the fucking damage because I went off screen and fucking grinded levels for like 5 weeks. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but it happened, I guess, at some point. I don't know what the fuck his skill tree is looking like. But, like, meanwhile, you have Tate no Yusha, where Naofumi obtains the cursed shield upgrade tree through his pain and suffering and heartache that he's endured to this point. He's built up so much hate and resentment for this world because as soon as he gets summoned into it, a princess is claiming rape, you know, and it's not true. You know, she steals all of his money. He's being accosted by this royalty that's supposed to help him through this process, and it's just this massive pain and heartache and suffering that he causes, which makes him, you know, get this cursed shield upgrade tree, which you also see more than multiple times on screen, by the way. It pops up almost, the actual physical skill tree graphic shows up pretty much every time he uses it, too. So it's not like some mystery skill tree that the audience is, you know, being shied away from until, you know, some grand reveal. It's there the entire time. This show does not pull the fucking mystery card and pulls its punches with information like that. It lays all those cards out on the table and still manages to throw curveballs and all this shit in the plot. And the thing about this cursed shield upgrade tree, it basically physically slowly kills him as he uses it and will put like a really harmful status effect that is a curse on his entire party. He needs a super high level holy water to get rid of this curse. And whenever he uses it, it affects his whole party. Like with SAO, if Kirito loses, it seems like, oh well, he can try again as long as he doesn't die. Whereas Naofumi is suffering like an absolute Giga Chad out here. Like, he learns this attack really late in the anime's first season here, where it drains nearly all of the blood in his body and puts him in like a month-long coma to recover from, but it one-shots like a Freightliner hitting a smart car. This thing fucking one-shots the Pope. One of the, like, this dude needs like 1 million people standing behind him, giving him this massive mana pool, and Naofumi is like, yeah, here, I'm gonna drain like most of the blood from my body to the point where I'm almost dying, but I'm also gonna one-shot your ass. Like, oh my god, it's just so it's so good. Like, there's actual progression. It's not like, hi, my name's Kirito, I have 2 swords, I'm just gonna now suddenly use these 2 swords to do this blue whatever the fuck it was called strike and one-shot this boss now. How did this come about? I don't know, special character traits or something. And then Naofumi's like, here, let me basically fucking kill myself to one-shot the most overpowered thing that I've ever fought in the entirety of these 25 episodes. The emotional connection that I feel with these characters at this point, and the interest that I have in the future of this series, has not been this strong with an anime since I remember I was watching through the Arrancar arc in Bleach, and I was just hoping and praying and like sitting on the edge of my seat just waiting for filler to end so I can see how Ichigo versus Ukiura ends. And let me point it out here as well. In Bleach, that filler fucking sucked, but it was worth it because Bleach gave off a huge payout at the end of it. And that like build up to that payout, I have not felt this hyped about an anime since that point. I feel that way about Tate no Yusha. I cannot wait for the 2nd season. This show is going to be fucking bonkers, and I cannot stress enough how good this anime is. It plays with perspectives and characters in the universe, twists the narrative of the universe in such a way that it makes the viewer actually give a fuck about what's happening, and it's absolutely beautiful. I don't want to rant on about the show. Even though there's a spoiler warning, I only finished it the other day, and my brain is still processing things, and spoiler warning or not, I don't want to spoil the ending of the 1st season at all. Like, I mentioned the Pope fight, but who is the Pope? You have to fucking watch and find out. You want to know how that fucking fight, you know, actually goes down, aside from just the technique that Naofumi uses? Go watch it. There's so much conspiracy and plot, and like there's consequences to actions. The anime remembers things. It's fucking amazing. The friends Naofumi makes along the journey, as well as everything that's important to him and Raphtalia, all come together in an amazingly beautiful bow at the end of the season, and it just makes me unrecognizably giddy to see what's in store for season 2 of Tate no Yusha. Like, I almost cried at the end. Like, I don't cry at anime. I've cried maybe once in the entirety of like my time fucking watching anime, maybe twice. This legitimately made my eyes watery. So there's like a progression. There's like my face gets all scrunched, then my eyes get watery, then I actually cry. This got to like tier 2 out of the 3 tiers of me almost crying. Like, this got very dangerously close to actually making me cry at the end, and it's not a bad cry, though. It's a happy cry. I feel so happy for the characters by the end of this season that I cannot express how emotionally attached I am to this fucking show at this point, and I can't wait to see more. So I hope this video has convinced you to go watch the show, and I don't want to rave on and keep sucking this anime off much longer because I feel like I'll just keep talking myself in circles more than I possibly already have. So I hope you guys go watch Tate no Yusha if you haven't already. I can't recommend it enough, and I hope you have a wonderful night, morning, afternoon, or whatever time it is for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.